Think about this. You said that, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, audience, I want you guys to hear this because this is going to help you. You're not the only one that's going through pain right now. You're not. Reach out. Let me share with you. In that state, in all of that, there are days where I plotted how to kill myself. I want you guys to hear me. All of the success, you see all of this and all of that, that's great. Listen to what I'm saying. There were days I plotted to kill myself. I plotted to hang myself. I plotted to allow it to have maximum impact for people when they find my body. See, it wasn't a just, oh yeah, by the way, but I'm planning this.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting every single day for years. The devil's gonna ask you questions when God is gonna give you answers. That's not God. Let me repeat that. The devil will give you and ask you answers and you question things, but God is gonna give you answers.
Yeah.
It's not gonna have to be a question. It's an answer.
Yeah.
Somebody say, what's your name? My name is Stanley. I don't have to question that. But when you start questioning, that is not of God. It's not of God.
He's got a very clear path for you, a very clear purpose for you. It's, no, I designed you to do this. It is very much just answers, no question.
You're questioning something, you got the answer, run with it. Run with the trust, be obedient, and just run.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Passion from Pain, where we don't just talk about success, we unpack the struggle that it took to get there. Because every breakthrough starts with a breakdown for the most part. And every leader you admire has a story that built the fire within them, the story that was built in the fire. And today's guest knows that truth better than most. Dr. Stanley Doucette, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, began his journey serving his community as a police officer and a detective, a role that demanded courage, resilience, and faith. But his story didn't stop there. In 2005, Dr. Doucette stepped into the world of business through One Voice Worldwide. And what started as a leap of faith turned into a legacy. Driven by vision and purpose, he rose through the ranks, building teams, developing leaders, and shaping a brand that reached across the nation. Through that journey, he mastered the art of growth, not just in business, but in life. And today, as president of One Voice Worldwide family of business, he continues to lead with integrity, service, and soul. But beyond the title, he's a teacher, mentor, relationship specialist, and leadership trainer whose influence reaches far beyond just the boardroom. His lessons blend business and spirituality, reminding us that success without purpose isn't power, it's just performance. In this conversation, we're going to dive deep into what it takes to rise, not just professionally, but personally. And with that, I thank you so much for coming today, Stanley. I really appreciate you being on this show. I've been looking forward to this conversation since we chatted. You and I had a really great conversation, and I know that this episode is going to touch many listeners who are listening today.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. First of all, I'm very humbled for the invitation. Thank you so much for allowing us this space to converse and be able to empower others. And when you were reading the introduction, I was like, who is she talking about? I started looking around. I didn't know what she was talking about.
Did I do all that? Did I do all that? I know, isn't it weird? You hear somebody else list everything off that you've done, and you're like, wow. It takes you a minute. You just do it. You don't see it, and you don't hear it necessarily, and sometimes it just kind of you're taken back when someone else is reading it off. But no, you've done some amazing things in your career.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I'm just humbled. I'm ready to get to it. I'm ready to empower some people. So let's do it.
Let's do it. So yeah, tell me all about you and how you got to this point. We're I guess we're sitting here talking, and what is that passion from pain moment for you?
Oh, I have several. I have several. So I'll see if I can bring it down to just a few. But one of the things as you were introducing and sharing some beautiful things about you. By the way, again, thank you so much for that introduction. I truly appreciate that. Um, when you talk about from passion, passion from pain, and you start thinking about this. Here's one thing I want the audience to grasp as I start conversing about this.
Mhm.
First of all, in order to have pain, you have to have something inside of you to create a pain, right? If you have not been blessed in your life, then you probably won't have too much pain because only those that have a purpose inside of them will only begin to experience pain. So a lot of times people say, well, what does that mean? I don't know. I got pain.
Yeah.
It's not that, but some are actually elevated in places that others aren't. So a lot of times we go through for specific things, not for ourselves, but to bless and help somebody else. So I was listening to you talk about the police department, which brings back all kind of memories, right? I remember a specific day. I just got to a point where I just said, you know what? Enough is enough.
Yep.
I called myself the living poor. And as you call yourself the living poor, what does that mean? Well, I'm working every single day on the police department, but at the same time, there were days where I would go and look around the corner at the utility box to see if I had the red sticker or the red tag or the green tag. And if you look around and I see the green tag, I'm excited. Okay, the electricity is still on. But the
Yeah.
reason I'm saying that at the same time, every single day, I was still working as a police officer. I was still on the streets. I was still doing all the things that police officers do. And yet, it was not enough money to create an environment for me. So I just got to the point where I said, enough is enough. That was one reason. The other part was I kept feeling something on the inside of me. And I was, hey, it's something brewing here. And as much as I like being a police officer, this is not it.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a passion for the finer things in life, right? I like first class. I like private. I like, suites at hotels and all of those wonderful things. And some people may say, oh, that's kind of, that's small minded or whatever. When you're poor, you can't fall off the bottom. So I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about if I could just one day have a vacation where I could stay in a suite. Oh my, I have arrived, right?
A big right?
Yeah, so I'm just, man, this is incredible. So one day, my partner said, hey, man, I want you to come to this meeting with me. Yeah, I say, hey, if it's about making money, I'm there.
Yeah,
He was like, yeah. So long and short, we went to this meeting and I got involved with our company and so on and so forth. But here's the passion behind it. If I did not take that step forward,
Mhm.
I would not have been introduced to my friend and we would not have been involved in One Voice. I eventually left there, went to Atlanta, and just started business. And since, what is it? I left a quote unquote 9 to 5
Yeah.
on July 1st, 2000 and what is it, July 1st, 2007. And I've never worked another job again in my life. Now, that's roll back, right? Here's where that pain comes from because I don't want people to miss because they hear the glamour. That's not focused on that. Here's where some of the pain comes.
Mhm.
I had pain because I had unresolved issues from my past. See, when I was 6, I was raped. So
Oh,
I didn't even understand I had that was going on inside of me. When I was growing and I started doing what I considered an autopsy on my life, I didn't even know that that still was manifesting itself in other ways inside of me.
mhm.
I didn't understand that I had unresolved issues towards other people. So all of those things began to matriculate out of me in ways I didn't know. People say, you got a short temper, you got a fuse, you got a this, you got a that. But I didn't even know why that was there. So as I started to manifest things on a positive side, there was also manifesting of negative things on the other side. So on one side, it was like, God is blessing. The other side, it was like the devil was destroying. So I'm doing back and forward, and I never could understand why I couldn't get past that. And then eventually discovered what was the root cause. And
Mhm.
once I started getting to the root cause, then I was able to remove the root cause, remove that pain, remove all of those issues, pour back into it positivity and environment of greatness and all of those other things that you would pour into there from peace to love and all of that, and now began to manifest forward.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. What an incredible journey. Oh my goodness. And this is the piece that I think a lot of people kind of miss when they're trying to manifest that life that they want and they're trying to achieve their goals and their dreams is that they miss the part where they need to work on the things from the past because it is holding us up in one way or another and we don't realize that it is still tripping us up and you do have to look at those things as much as we don't want to, we have to address them. We have to do the work on it so that
Yes,
we can get past it so we can grow because they do hold us back, like you said, with the anger um, and
that's
and
right.
the just the various ways that it was coming out in your life. But once you were able to address it, you were able to move past it and move forward in everything else.
I want to share this with you, right? That was the root cause. And I was thinking about it was maybe it was because of the police department, the things that we see inside of the police department and all those things. And then it started to matriculate into relationships. And I know a lot of people don't really want to put themselves out there, but let me just share this. It started to matriculate in relationships where I was not being able to, I was not, excuse me, I was not able to have beautiful relationships because I had unresolved challenges on the inside of me. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were just talking about unresolved issues that have been covered or hidden for years, in some ways, decades, but that are literally have not only taken root, but now they're manifesting in other ways. And the energy in which we're giving off is a false positive. What does that mean? That means I'm giving off that I'm Stanley in this manner, but deep down, I have this steel cover around my heart. So you could never get an opportunity to know who I am. And because you don't really know who I am, that means also I don't know who I am. So now I'm attracting other broken vessels to be in a relationship with. And inside of being in a relationship with those other broken vessels, now I'm able to look and see and say, hey, how can I move forward? What can we do? But in those cases, when you cannot make that happen, when you cannot go forward, then what does that mean? I have to cover myself. I have to cover myself. And my question is, when have light ever been covered by darkness?
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
if we don't have light, darkness is there,
yep.
and darkness will cover it all. You can't even see. But as soon as you begin to dust yourself off, as soon as you begin to get to a point to where I want to stand up or I'm standing up, now all of a sudden, the light that's on the inside of you began to open up and you begin to see yourself. And now, as you begin to see yourself, you begin to see the manifestation of your own glory that you have been born with. And now that begins to permeate rooms in a positive sense and not a negative sense. So
Mhm.
even in the relationships, I failed not because I wanted to, but I failed because I got on the wrong roof with the ladder. I got on the wrong house.
Mm,
So I went to the other side
mhm.
and didn't go to the correct side. So I was attracting things that are not supposed to be in my life.
Yeah, and that's how it works too. You do attract the wrong things when you are living in that darkness.
Yeah.
It just finds you, and those people that are living in the same kind of darkness or whatever, they're naturally gravitating towards you. The energy that you're putting out is exactly the energy that you're going to get back. I know it's very,
Yeah.
I don't know, philosophical or a karmic philosophy, I guess, but it is very, very true. And the same in my life. Once I cut out all of the negativity and the toxic people, well, man, then I'm able to actually grow in who I really am, and my confidence started to come out. And before I was very, very small and like to stay quiet and oh God, don't call on me. I'm not talking. Well, now you can't get me to shut up. Two completely different people. But there was that difference, getting the dark out and letting the light in. It just exposes who you are supposed to be.
And then from there, so we went from the police side and, trying to get business. And that kind of was like, oh, this is the beginning of the movement, right? And then you start to look at your relationships. So you begin to understand that. So once you navigated through all of that and you begin to build yourself in a proper manner and solid foundation. And then for me personally, then I get the news, you have cancer.
No.
Now, I mean, I tell you, we can rock with this, right? So now you have this news that you have cancer. At the same time, you're thinking about cancer, and then at the same time, I find out that my dad is suffering from dementia.
Oh,
At the
Lord.
same, almost at the same time, maybe about a year later, right?
Mm.
So now I have cancer. I'm fighting in that manner. If you, I won't say fighting, but that's news.
Well, yeah, yeah.
You have other news that came about for me was making sure my dad was whole and healed. Then I'm in a relationship and that was going sour as well. So now you have a triple, whatever you want to call it, triple whammy, right?
Yeah.
All at the same time. So when you say you go pain, it's like some days you just on your back. It's like, why me? What did I do? Right.
Yeah.
So now that pain is there. You got the pain, right?
Mm.
So you have to look at yourself. I have something that I didn't create on the inside of me that can potentially kill me. See, when people look at it in its truest form, in its passion, not passion, excuse me, in its truest form,
Mhm.
and then you begin to squeeze that. Now you have to have the mental fortitude, the mindset to say, I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
I am going to be at that next level. But let's be honest.
Mhm.
There is not one person, in my opinion, on planet Earth that got hit with some news and that there was not one day that it just hit them and be like, oh my God, I could die.
Right. Yep.
No, hey, I don't
Yep.
care how mentally strong you are, how
Yep.
powerful you are.
Yep.
I have something growing on the inside of me that is not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Now, if you go further into it, think about this, Amy. I would go, not used to, but I go to the doctor every year. My doctor and I had this running joke. All right, doc, see you next year because I didn't get sick. I was not a sickly person. Was not a person that ate wrong. I was not overweight. I can go on and on and on. All of the things we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
I was doing. Now, of course, everybody can say, well, I probably could have ate a little bit better and probably could have ran an extra couple of miles. And we get all of that. But for all of the things that you talk about, doing 10,000 steps a minimum a day, running, exercising, out and about, fresh air, eating decent, so on, all of that. And then all of a sudden your doctor say, you got cancer.
Mm.
What do you do when you
Right.
have that level of pain?
Yeah. I mean, it just hits you like a freight train. I mean, it sweeps you off your feet. One minute you're go, 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 and the next minute you're like, "Holy crap,"
Yeah.
"What do I do with this now?"
Now that's that piece. Now add on a piece, your relationship is souring.
Yeah.
Add on that other piece, you go to see your dad and they take his license right away at the neurologist because he had, I call it stage 2, but he's like moderate. He's at middle with dementia and he's forgetting and you can see it.
Yeah.
So now you're watching your dad die.
Mm.
You have something growing on the inside of you,
Mhm.
and you have a relationship that's sour.
Yeah.
So when you talk about pain, yeah, that's the pain.
Yep.
But then let's talk about moving past that, how you get to the passion. So that's the pain. We understand that. That's all everybody in your beautiful audience understand. Yep, I had several of those pain points, right? and we can give others. And I'm not even adding on the individuals that died during that process that was immediate family. So we can add all of that stuff in. But now that we got this beautiful gumbo of pain, take that next step, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is, like they say on an airplane, put your oxygen mask on first.
Yep.
Let's make sure that I get the proper care and healing that I need.
Yeah.
The second part, the Bible recalls is honor your father and your mother. So now let me make sure my dad is all squared away. And then we can deal with the souring of the relationship. So we went, we got all of the treatment and did all of those things, and then, had the surgery. Everything came out perfect. And then they hit me with another blow. Well, we think we're going to give you radiation now.
Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. No.
So now we go through that like, wait. Yep. So you go through, I think it was 16 weeks, 5 days a week. 16 weeks, 5 days a week of radiation. At the same time, then they say, oh, we're going to also do hormone therapy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, come on, audience. We go right. We go together, right? So now you got the hormone therapy. Here are the 3 main side effects of the hormone therapy that they gave me. One is weight gain. I've never been fat a day in my life. And it's not nothing against anybody. I'm just saying, Stanley, I've never been fat a day in my life. Number 2, heat flashes. I've always had body control, not with this. Number 3, suicidal ideation. I've never tried to kill myself. Well, guess what? Let's talk through that. So now all of them were also prevalent. So I'm going through radiation. I'm going through heat flashes with all the first time it happens. You're like, what is wrong? The second, you have that, you have the suicidal ideation, all of a sudden depression just hits you out of nowhere. You just start crying. I remember the first time it happened, I was sitting at the kitchen table and I'm just sitting there and all of a sudden I just start boo-hooing, right? So you have that. Then you start noticing your weight going up. And I'm trying to think, wait a minute, I'm not doing it. And you see, and then all of a sudden your clothes don't fit.
Yeah.
All of these are psychological things you're dealing with. And you're like, wait, my clothes not fitting. My this not doing right. I can't fit. I don't have clothes anymore. Now you got a relationship that's going downwards. You don't know where to even turn.
Yeah.
So all of that's going on at the same time. You normally like, let me pick up the phone to call my dad. Yeah, I can't really do that right now. Pick up the phone to call my mom. Well, my mom at the time was having some health challenges herself. So now you have that. So who do you call?
Yeah.
That's when you talk about pain, right?
Yep.
But here's the great thing that allowed me to continue forward. I know this may sound cliche-ish and this. You don't really know God's power until you call on him earnestly. You don't really know his power. You can say you do, but you don't know his power. What I went through was so painful. It was almost to the point where I thought it was disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was that painful. So when I went through all of the things that I went through with those at the same time, and now you're battling through things and you're trying to figure it out. What's next? What's this? What's that? And yet you kept saying, but if I could just call on the name of God. And that's all I kept doing. And then you began to realize you have to speak life into things that may be dead. So I started speaking life into situations, not saying, woe is me, but I shall live and not die. So you started speaking that power into it. You know what? Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. See, you can write things on paper, Amy, but until it comes off of paper and get inside of you, you will never know his power. I started leaning on him more and more and more and more. Nobody was there. I rung the bell by myself. I ding, ding, ding by myself. myself.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna send you the video of that too.
I love it.
By myself. So when you talk about pain, yes, stand up. And you got a relationship that's going downwards. You got your dad, you realize that he's starting to die. You got people around you that's close to you dying. You have no way of looking up. And now you just like, what's next? Where do I go? Just keep relying on him. I have a question for everybody in the audience.
Yeah.
Do you really trust your creator? For me, it's Jesus. Do you really trust your creator? Do you really trust him?
That's a hard one, especially if you're in that moment of pain, because it can go the other way.
Yeah.
Why would God allow this to happen to me? I've been faithful. Why is he putting this in my life? It could go the other way, absolutely.
Yes. Think about this. You said that, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, audience, I want you guys to hear this because this is going to help you. Yeah. First of all, let me say this. You're not the only one that's going through pain right now. You're not. Reach out. Let me share with you. In that state, in all of that, there are days where I plotted how to kill myself. I want you guys to hear me. All of the success, you see all of this and all of that, that's great. Listen to what I'm saying. There were days I plotted to kill myself. I plotted to hang myself. I plotted to allow it to have maximum impact for people when they find my body. See, it wasn't a just, oh yeah, by the way, but I'm planning this.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting every single day for years with this stuff in my system. I got rid of the cancer, but the hormone therapy was trying to take me out. I'm dealing with that at the same time radiation. I'm dealing with that the same time my dad is going down. All of those things are happening at the same time. But yet, will I trust him? Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. And I keep leaning on him. I can't even tell you, there are gentlemen. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And there are gentlemen and my brothers that were coming up to me. I don't want to say names. I'm not putting their business in the street. But they came to me and was telling me, because of your strength, it has helped me live.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through this pain, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't even sleep. I'm restless. All of a sudden, I want to kill myself. Then I'm like, oh, I'm crying. I don't know which way to turn. And yet, he still kept me. So now, as I'm going through it all, people say, oh, that sounds great. And no, this is real.
Yeah.
This is real.
Oh, yeah. Real feelings, real stories.
Yes, this is real. So now all of a sudden you're going through it and you have, because radiation finished, and they're like, oh yeah, but hormone therapy is still in your blood.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask, how long is it going to be in my blood? Well, you got a couple more injections, and then after those injections, it take about 6 months for that injection, and then it may be about 6 months after to get that out, and you going through all of that stuff. So you finished the cancer. I have no cancer in my body. I'm finished radiation. I'm good on that. But yet at the same time, I'm still going through this prolonged agony of pain.
Yeah.
At the same time. But then at the same time, God would give me a little test. Hey, I want you to talk to so-and-so and help them and encourage them as they're going through their battles. God, do you not know what I'm going through? You say, I know, but this is what I want you to do. So when I say how I got through it, I leaned on him more and more. Then it went from leaning to just jumping in his arms. Then it went from jumping in his arms to I just need to be. I need to be with you. Not just happenstance, but I need to be with you. So as time went on, went through a divorce. Dad died. Yes, hormone therapy was still kicking my butt. All of that stuff. And then it started to go away. Wow. See, my 50th birthday, I was in the house with my dad, watching him slowly leave us. And at the same time, I'm hurting because I wanted to, my 50th, I'm traveling out the country and I'm going through this, and then we're gonna have this, and we're gonna have a ball. And yet, my 50th, I was in the room listening to my dad go back and forth, listening to him not understand sometimes and then understands other times.
Right.
And then it's like, man, this is, what? And then I remember God said, "But you said you was gonna choose me." I said, "Yeah, I chose you." He said, "Well, trust me." And I just began to trust him and trust him. Even though I'm watching my dad, I'm talking about my dad, my father, the one that I'm close to. My dad, my mom, I'm extremely close to. I'm sitting there watching one of my two heroes, the first one, literally going away.
Wow.
So yes, we talk about pain. And I can talk about it, that's good. But I also want to talk about how we got to the passion, because that day, I remember my dad died on August 18th, 2024.
Oh.
And I remember the night he died. It was vivid. I didn't think he was going to make it from that Saturday because it was a Sunday. I didn't think he was going to make it out of Saturday. I didn't think he was going to make it out of Saturday. So I was fully expecting to wake up and find him dead. I was fully expecting that. And I remember creeping around the corner to look and see, and I saw him move. I was like, oh, he's still here. Good. And we went and we bathed him and cleaned him up and fed him and all of that stuff. And I remember us just talking. Well, actually, I was talking and, you kind of was just listening, but I was talking, kind of say prayers together and put on some music and all of that stuff. But he was just there. And then later on that night, I think it was at 9:35, about 9:15, family was like, "Stanley, I want you to at least just go grab you something to drink and come back. You got to get out the house, get you some air and come back." I came back and it said, as soon as I turned in the driveway, that's when he departed.
Wow.
So you walk in and then people come to you and say, I remember one person came to me and just grabbed my phone and he looked at me and he said, "He gone. He's gone." So you walk in, all of these are I'm saying I spent, I think it was a year and a half, 2 years with him, watching this every single day. He's gone.
It's just done.
Done.
Wow.
Death is final. For everybody out there that has not reconciled with their parents, I don't care what they did, what they didn't do, at some point you have to reconcile, do something to heal that wound. Because if not, death is final.
Yeah.
I couldn't say anything else. I couldn't get back to him. We couldn't have another conversation about, this, that, or thus. It had to literally be there.
Yeah.
That's the pain part.
Yeah.
That's the pain. But then there's a passion.
There's the passion from it.
There's the passion. If I did not go with my friend, my police partner, to that business meeting, I would not have had the strength to walk through what I walked through. Because that night when my dad died, they couldn't get I call it a gurney. I don't know what else to call it. So the chauffeur that brings the body to the funeral home came. He got the, gurney or whatever they call it, right?
Yeah.
He could not get the gurney, turn a corner to get it into my dad's room so we could just lift him on the gurney. He didn't have that. No words, relax. I grabbed my dad at the top. The first, his head, shoulders, all that. My cousin grabbed his bottom and we carried my dad to the gurney, put him inside the bag. This is what I'm talking about. We talk about where does your strength comes from. Carry him there and put him in the bag.
Wow.
Family around, they breaking down, crying. I'm not crying because I know what I did for him.
Sure.
And the strength that was just there. And I remember saying, anybody else want to say something before he leaves his house? People crying, there's no. And I was like, and the guy looked and the chauffeur was there like, back up, just go to your car. I got the rest. We got this. I'm instructed on what to do. We zipped up the gurney, we strapped him in, and we pushed the gurney out the door for the last time of him being in his house. We pushed it all the way to the door of the, and they open, they open the back up, you could push it in or push the gurney in. We opened the door up, pushed him. I didn't push him in, and that's why the chauffeur had to push him in and lock him in. That was it. And I remember my mom just breaking down. That was it. That was
Wow.
it. But then we got to the passion side.
Yeah.
I would not be on your show today, Amy, if it had not been for that divine meeting.
Yeah.
I would not. Because now I could say on the opposite side. Now, we always say for whatever reason, we know the reason is to create. It's God that has been attracting people to me, that now you're able to speak into people's lives. Now you're able to help them heal. Now you're able to speak things into them and help them go on to the next day and take another step and take another step. We're able to do those things. But unfortunately, if you're not able to do those things, and I did not take that meeting and I did not go to that meeting, or I just said I was tired, then I would not have been in this position to do this podcast with you today. But because of that, just becoming obedient and being in order, being aware of all your situations and surroundings and understanding that this present suffering is not for you.
Yeah.
So now we're able to talk to millions and millions of your followers all over the world.
Wow.
Wow. What an incredible journey, incredible story. Oh my goodness. You're touching me today. Good Lord. I wasn't prepared for it to hit me today. But it is because there's so much about what you just talked about that really just mirrors, what I've been through, and then, what I'm going through currently in my life as well. And, just same thing, having to really lean into God and remembering that, he has a plan, there is a reason, there is a purpose for every single moment of pain that I am experiencing in my life, or in that I have experienced. And it was a very similar story about how my mother passed away, but same thing, found the passion and the strength to, for the last time, help them through to that final journey that they were taking.
That's right.
That took a lot of strength. Absolutely took a lot of strength.
It takes a lot of strength, and just to you, and I'm just listening and listening to your heart. One thing I will share to you, and I know you're going through, and the family's dealing with a couple of things here and there, what have you. But the biggest thing that I would say is don't submit to negative thoughts, and don't submit to things that's not of your creator. Because if you do, you're going to put the light on the wrong building. And we're not doing that anymore.
Yep.
We have to make sure that you're open. We have to make sure that what's coming from you, it's pure and it's purposeful.
Mhm.
And because now it's purposeful, now it begins to spill into the family and to allow them to have hope, to allow them to understand that it's going to be better, to allow them to understand that this is just a present suffering, but we're going to last forever. Understand that it's bigger than what we may believe and think. And then be able to go forward regardless of the circumstances, because now the real word is, do you trust? The real word is, do you believe he's a healer? If he did it for me, he could do it for anybody. I'm a absolute cancer survivor, and yet I have absolutely no trace of any type of cancerous cells in my body. So if he did it for me, he can do it for anybody out there in your listening audience. Anybody. But I will say this, but you have to first believe. If you don't believe, just begin to believe. Ask him to come into your heart. Clean your heart up. Be understanding of what that means, and allow him to come into you, and allow him, as he say, he will reward those that diligently seek him. Seek guidance, seek wisdom, seek clarity. Stay obedient, stay in order, and watch what happens.
Amazing. And and you've got to do the work too. You got to meet him. You got to meet him there too. Can't have your own ideas on what to do and just do the things that he tells you to do, and it will fall into place just as he promises.
Absolutely. I
That's
agree.
what I'm hanging on to.
Yes,
And I've
ma'am.
seen it. I've seen it in my past, and I'm getting to live through it and see it again. That I'm glad for what I'd been through in the past because it makes me strong going through the things that we're going through now. And that's one of the reasons that this podcast exists.
Yes.
One, to help inspire others to continue to move on and continue to fight for, their passions and their purpose and to rise above the painful moments in life. But it's also very much a purpose driven thing for me to keep me in line and passionate and keep me out of depression and anxiety and my own mental spirals. And it's one thing that I really want to put out there is that, when you do find that passion and that purpose, you will find that it is what is going to keep you from
Yes.
spiraling out into the darkness again and pursue that. And God will reveal exactly what that is for you
I agree.
in these moments. And
Yes.
just listen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And the solution to all of the pain that a lot of us going through, when you have that solution to what you said, is going to reveal itself. Here's a caution. Here's a caution for
Yeah.
everybody. Make sure, as Amy just stated, you do the work first because you have to build the capacity to receive the blessing. If you have not done the work, he can't bless you because the creator has said that he will not put more on you than you can bear. So whether it is everybody think that's a bad thing. No, that's also for good because you can have fertilizer and you give a plant too much fertilizer, it's going to kill it.
Yeah.
But but you do the work, build the capacity, and allow him to pour the blessings inside of you. All is going to be great. I don't know why this is coming to me. So this also refers to all of the education out there, all of the students that may seem lost, that may seem confused, that may going through pain points of college, all of the young people that some, for whatever reason, Amy, I don't know, a lot of young kids don't know how to handle stress.
It's true. Oh, it's so
It's for whatever reason, for whatever the reason is, listen, it's going to be better. I guarantee you, 3 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 years from now, you're not going to remember any of this that you're going through at all. I mean, at all. You're not going to remember this at all. But if you are in a space that you have pains and you just need to talk to somebody, seek help. It is nothing wrong with talking to a counselor. There's nothing wrong with talking to a mentor. There's nothing wrong in hitting Amy up at the show like, hey, look, I just need to talk to somebody, regardless of what it is. We are here to help. We are here to be a blessing. We're here to help lift you up because all of the stuff that's going on in your head, every time you ask a question, I heard this yesterday and I thought this was profound. I just thought this was profound. The devil's going to ask you questions when God is going to give you answers.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, man.
Yes, ma'am. When you start doubting and start asking those questions, that is not God.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. The devil will give you and ask you answers and you question things.
Yep.
But God is going to give you answers.
Yeah.
It's not going to have to be a question. It's an answer.
Yeah.
Somebody say, what's your name? My name is Stanley. I don't have to question that. But when you start questioning, that is not of God.
No.
That's not of God.
No, it's not, and he's got a very clear path. And so you're absolutely right. He's got a very clear path for you, a very clear purpose for you.
Yeah.
And he is only going to come to you with answers, not, and what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or what's your opinion on this? What do you want to do? It's not that. It's no, I designed you to do this.
That's right.
And you have to walk in this certain path in order to get to this point because you do have to learn certain lessons in order to fulfill certain purposes and destinies and whatnot, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's very much no. This is what it is. It is very much just answers, no questions.
Is the answers. Absolutely. Absolutely. So for everybody out there, that's your answer.
Yeah.
That's your solution. That's your answer. You questioning something, you got the answer, run with it. Run with it. Trust, be obedient, and just run.
Yeah.
And just run. It is amazing. Amazing. It's so much more that is here. It's just yes.
And so, you know, you went through this whole thing a little later in life. Were you always faith-based or spiritual, or was it those moments that just kind of really brought faith to you?
Right. And I'm glad you asked in the way you asked that because I've always been quote unquote in church. So I was Catholic and then I went to Baptist and non-denominational and so on and so forth. That's all sounds cute.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is where I say the rubber meets the road.
Mhm.
There's a lot of religious people and there's spiritual people.
Yeah.
The religious people are the people that I'm gonna go to church every Sunday. I'm gonna go to Bible study. I'm gonna go to confession. I'm gonna go to this, and it's a routine. It's just a routine, a routine, a routine.
Yep.
But spiritual people, because when the door hits, and when that flood comes, and when that pain comes, then from there you have to be able to lean on something. And if the word is not hidden in your heart, then there's nothing for you to lean on. You just an empty vessel. So my suggestion in just answering your question is one, yes, always been spiritual and always been in church. So it's two separate things for me, right?
Yep,
But
yep.
for those that may be looking and suffering, I'm not telling you where to go, what to do, or whatever. Find your higher power.
Mhm.
Whatever that may be, find your higher power and begin to pull into them. For me, it's Jesus. So when I turned it all over and walked under the blood and was washed again and got as clean as snow and began to understand the power of what he possessed for me
Mhm.
and how that happened. It just started turning in ways. So I was pulling on stuff, Amy, from deep within my heart. I mean, I was pulling on things that I didn't even know was in me because I didn't have nowhere else to turn.
What?
I had nowhere else to turn. I don't know why this popped into my head, but uh, are you familiar with the crushing of olives, or at least just in?
Uh, I remember something about it vaguely.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So, I remember sharing this with someone, and forgive me for who it is, but it was somebody,
Yeah.
and I remember studying this. So everybody familiar with the olive oil? Everybody, oh, you got olive oil. Yes, I got olive oil. Yay. Okay, great. But there's levels to the olive oil. Woo-hoo.
Mhm.
So the first crushing is the thickest of the oil. It's the most powerful. It's the most whatever you want to call it, right? That's the thing. And then the second layer, obviously, is a little less, and the third layer is a little less. The first level of oil, as I call it, is your truth. So when you're going through pain, I look at it as crushing.
Mhm.
And what's in you is going to come out, whether you want it to or not. So that first level of anointing or that first level of oil comes out, regardless if you want it to or not. You can't hide from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when that comes out, that's where the passion comes, what you're talking about, because now you're walking in your passion. People are attracted to your passion
Yeah.
because now it becomes an attraction. And it's also a repellent for negative things. So that passion, I'm so grateful I went through what I went through because it gave me the opportunity to be squeezed and crushed for the
Mm.
oil, if you will, to come out. It's the same as the olive, for allow it to come out. And now when we're talking to people, we're able to touch them. We're able to penetrate past the minutia and get directly to the purpose. Now we're able to help people walk into their purpose, allow them to see their greatness, allow them to be blessed, allow them to be for a positive influences in society, allowing them not to see race, allowing them not to see religion, allowing them not to see politics, but allow them to see the best version of each person they run into. And that now becomes an attraction for everybody that has been seeking something greater. That magnet now becomes more and more powerful, or as some people say, the light becomes more and more powerful, or the oil or the anointing, depends on what circle you're in. It becomes the attraction, and it repels all of the negative things. It's not saying it's not the negative people not going to come. They come. They go. I just said, I told my best friend this. I stole this saying from him, and I say, okay, I gave you credit the last time. You get no more credit for this. This is not.
There you go. I love it. It's like stealing that recipe from the lady at church.
Yeah.
It's your own now.
It's your own. So the saying is this: every vision will be tested for its authenticity.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there we are.
Wow.
Wow.
I
So
get
much.
so excited
Yeah.
about. Yeah, I get so excited when you start talking about blessing other people and lifting them up out of pain and helping them grow. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I love everything that you do and how you tell your stories. It's just very impactful. And I know that a lot of listeners are going to get a lot of value out of everything that you've said today and your stories and your advice.
So much.
I know you've inspired a lot of people today. I know it. One thing I like to do here on the show, kind of for fun, is kind of these bonus quick fire questions. So I'm going to start a statement and I'm going to let you finish it off. Okay.
Okay.
Want to play? All right, here we go. So, first one. Leadership starts with what?
Passion.
Beautiful. My biggest teacher has been
God.
the greatest gift pain ever gave me was
My best friend.
faith without work taught me.
You say that one more time?
Faith without work taught me.
I'm dead.
Mm-hmm. And true power feels like.
True power feels like responsibility.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Beautiful answers to those. I love it. I love it. See? Yeah, I could just talk to you. I could talk to you all day long, and I think I need to have you back on the show
Okay.
at some point.
Just
If
let
you're
me know.
open to it, we'll have another discussion. But I think there's so many other directions we can go. Just because I
Absolutely.
love your train of thought and how you present everything, and just an incredible conversation and true example of what happens when purpose and perseverance kind of collide. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, whenever, just of course, just reach out and I got you. We can do it. We'll make it happen. Have a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. So yeah. And both love to talk to your audience again, or if they want to reach out, they can, whatever.
Absolutely. And of course, all of Stanley's information is going to be linked in the description of the audio podcast and the YouTube channel as well. And of course, if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can see his information running across the bottom of the screen. So please reach out to Stanley. He's a wealth of information, such an inspiration, and from his days on the streets of New Orleans as a detective to leading global business, as president of One Voice Worldwide, he's proven that the climb isn't about an ego, it's about an evolution process.
Yes.
And it's about becoming the kind of leader who turns pain into perspective and success into service. And that is beautiful. And maybe that's the message we all need right now, that our past doesn't disqualify us by any means. It actually just prepares us for the next evolutionary point in our lives.
Yes, that's right.
And that the very places we thought would break us are often where our calling is actually born.
Yes.
And where God meets us and says, no, this is your path.
Yes.
And beautiful. I just love your stories. And thank you so much for being here again. This is Passion from Pain, and this is where we transform struggle into strength and purpose into power. And I'm your host, Amy Pease. I will see you all next time, right here where leaders are forged, faith is tested, and pain becomes your greatest teacher. I love you all. I'll see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.